right rear tire just a little bit too much early in that run. Needs some right rear brake with this will affect the center turn of his car. And for Kyle Larson, the only issue right now is the fact that he doesn't have the clean air. Said there was a slight balance shift because of that.
Truex is going to beat Larson.
Yeah, but Larson gained a couple right there. Those are very pivotal spots. Hard to come by. Number one pit stop.
Hamlin also.
Took one for Josh Berry, who dropped 4 spots on pit road. Martin Truex Jr., stage winner.
He saw a Nascar race, that's what he wanted to be.
I mean, I was 5 or 6 years old. I just remembered the moment I smelled the tires and the fuel and I heard the engines roar by, I was done.
Yeah, he just asked me the other day, do you still have your season tickets on there? I sure do.
I love that the Toyota Unders 400 is here at Richmond because I have been driving with Toyota now for a better part of 15 years. But now the manufacturer that sponsored us is now the head sponsor here of this race. And my home track, it just means a little bit more.
Hamlin just ran his personal fastest lap of the race just 14 laps ago, along with Christopher Bell and Eric Jones.
Well, I still think a lot of these guys are still learning exactly where the racetrack is and what the speed is, and learning more about they're having to adjust on their cars every run. And the thing about Richmond is you don't get a lot of opportunities with the way that this strategy is to, and the way that this race started with the rain tires and the track changing. It's hard to keep up with your car on nights like this to be able to make good adjustments and have it work the next run with everything changing so much.
Well, Larry Metchel, what Pearson, he lost it on the strategy. We still have strategy coming. I think that number one pit stall may play a role in this before it's all said and done. I know which one you're going after.
Well, you've got the number one pit stall. I've got the number one driver on the racetrack currently, and that's Martin Truex Jr. They've given him control of the race, and he has maintained control of the race up until this point. So we'll have to see how all this plays out.
Well, you guys have the Quinella, but I've got an eye on Joey Logano. This is the most laps that Logano has run in the top 5 positions since he last won a race, which was Atlanta a year ago. Those are your Car One Bank ones to watch.
You do realize we took the top 3 cars. I mean,
It's the blind obvious.
That's pretty brutal.
Do you want to be a winner or do you want to be a loser?
Well, I can tell you, the 4 car has been one to watch, but Wallace is back. William Byron, haven't heard anything of him. He's back in the top 10. There's some guys that could be a role in this before it's all said and done. That car right there, Christopher Bell.
All right, we had some radio chatter from Kyle Larson. They're going with the Paul Revere option for pit stops. 1 by land, 2 by sea. What? That's Longfellow. The Battle. Listen, my children, and you shall hear the Battle of Power. Never mind. The cohort was Boston.
What year was that?
Boston for Kyle Larson.
Okay.
He did go to a bunch of museums yesterday. I think he was trying to have a flashback of his museum visit. Well, a lot of museum history here in Richmond. Split him.
Yeah, the lap car is going to decide, well, get in the way of this battle. It's not going to decide it because Christopher Bell fought back 3 wide.
Bell trying to take 3rd away from Logano as Brad Keselowski pits.
This is so good.
Chase Briscoe to pit road. Giving the top 16 spot, and now there's about 5 more coming in quick succession.
Well, one car has to start that cycle, and as soon as it starts, you know you have to come with them, like I said earlier, just in order to keep up. So we see a bunch of them coming back.
Byron, Wisher, Elliott, Gregson, all on pit road.
Your leader, Truex, just come on. Here comes Larson. Here comes the rest of them. They're all coming.
Jamie.
Martin Truex Jr. making his way down. They've been happy with that race car. All tires for him. Did you see it right there? They pitched that tire. 22, Joey Logano just came to a stop at his spots. Air pressure adjustment 4 tires, Reagan.
Denny Hamlin in the 11 car just feels like he has to slow down the center too much. Can't roll speed through the middle of the car, so he wants some help with that. In the 5 car, Kyle Larson, relatively quiet on the radio. They've just been updating him on when he moves around and later. The plan is to pit twice in this sequence.
That leaves Christopher Bell out on the racetrack along with Suarez, Blaney, and Cindric. The three of those cars a lap down. Chastain finishing up, so Bell is the leader. And here's some audio from the 20.
Well, that's what you want to hear. Whether it's right or wrong, we don't know yet, but that's what you want to hear on the radio. Here he comes.
Yes. But I think it was those cars came a couple laps earlier. No, he's going to stay on the racetrack.
Yeah, Alex Bowman was on the outside. This is what we were talking about earlier. He was moving out of the way to let the faster cars go by on the outside so that he didn't lose as much time as possible. So he's in the game of having to get out of the way of all the faster cars that are going around him. So now it's just about minimizing the lap time loss on the racetrack when those cars catch him. Oh, Martin Truex into the back of Chase Briscoe.
Larry, the question's going to be, are they going to stay out? Did he mean this is the strategy is going to be the win? Is Christopher Bell's team going to stay out and try to do a one-stop strategy or just stretch this a little bit longer? What do you think?
Well, if they're going to do the one-stop strategy, Clint, they've got to go about another 20 laps. But if they want to split it perfectly into thirds, then the next lap or two would be the same amount of laps each of the three runs.
But right now, he falls more in line with what that crew chief was telling him.
And they told him, just give me a couple more. So that is apparently the strategy.
There he is.
Austin Cindric out of it. Harrison Burton in.
And obviously Christopher Bell right here.
And here's Bell.
Christopher Bell heading to the road right now. They had a lengthy conversation after the previous yellow about when to make this stop. Richie Stevens said he did not want to do it too soon because he paid the price on the backside of the road. As for the car right now, just a little bit too loose for Christopher Bell.
Well, you see that they think they can make the passes on the backside of the run. Is the only thing that I can figure out of that, trying to gain some advantage on the backside of the run, and that's what he did last week. He gained a whole bunch on the backside of the run at Coda, but we'll see if that works out. But the race for the lead has heated up because Martin Truex is stuck behind Chase Briscoe, and that's allowed Kyle Larson to creep right in on the backside bumper of Martin Truex Jr.
And Bell comes back out in 9th place.
And Denny Hamlin has caught both of them.
New sheriff in town. I'm here, boys. I sure hope one of those is 300. Maybe it was not.
Well,
yes, I love it.
I hate to tell you, but your 300 start was at Kansas Speedway.
Oh, enough said. I can tell you this, it was definitely not a win.
No, you finished 23rd. Jeff Gordon beat Kevin Harvick for the win.
Oh, I've never been a bigger fan of Jeff Gordon right there, right then. You know what's funny about Jeff Gordon winning at Kansas Speedway? The very first race there I was at, when they built Kansas Speedway, Jeff Gordon.
I don't think there's anything funny about that.